Okay, good morning, class. Welcome to driver's education class. And today we're going to learn about sharing the road, rules and laws for bicyclists and for drivers that meet bicyclists on the road. Okay. Our I-CAN statement is learn and understand the rules and laws of the road for bicycles and bicyclists. All right. We're going to start with an anticipation guide. Okay, but I'm going to have you by show of hands, true, false questions. And if you don't know the answers, that's fine, because we haven't covered this material before, but just take your best guess, okay? All right, so true or false? Raise your hand if you think this is true. You can get a DWI while riding a bicycle. True or false? Raise your hand. Raise them high, so I can see that. 2, 3. Don't do it because of your peers, okay? Make it sense. Okay, so 3 true. Bicyclists have the right to full use of the traffic lane. Raise your hand if you think that's true. Full use of the traffic lane. Raise your hand if you think it's false. 3? Okay. All right. A third one. A vehicle must maintain at least 3 feet of safety distance when passing a bicycle. Raise your hand if you think that's true. 2 of you? You think it's false, Leighton? You think it's true? I didn't give you long enough time to think about that. I'm sorry. All right, and the last one. Bicyclists may legally ride 2 or more abreast in a single lane. I'll give you a couple seconds to think. That was quick. All right. If you think that's true, raise your hand. 1. All right. If you think it's false, don't think it's false. Okay. 2 false, 1 true. 2 or more abreast in a single lane. All right, good. All right, we're going to review some PowerPoint slides and cover this material and then some other material. And then we're going to apply what you've learned, okay? And then you'll have an exit ticket when you leave to see that to reinforce and show me that you've learned what's on the PowerPoint slides as well, okay? All right, first thing, bicyclists are drivers of vehicles, okay? That's statute, North Carolina Statute 20-401. A vehicle, for the purposes of this chapter, bicycles shall be deemed vehicles, and every rider of a bicycle upon a highway shall be subject to the provisions of this chapter applicable to the driver of a vehicle, except those which by their nature can have no application. Does that make sense? It does? Okay. Everybody understand that? So basically a bicycle is deemed a vehicle, okay? Except where by nature there's no application. So there's some things on cars that bicycles don't have, basically. Okay? Always yield to bicycles. Motors should always yield to bicycles, okay, just like a pedestrian. All right. When encountering bicycles in a bike lane or on a path parallel to the lane, always yield to the bicycles. This is analogous to a pedestrian crossing the street. When you're passing a bicyclist, slow down as you approach the cyclist. Wait until it's safe and legal to pass. Allow the cyclist plenty of room, at least 4 feet. Okay? 4 feet. It's not 3. Preferably change lanes. Okay? If you can safely change lanes into the other lane, that's the best way to do it. All right? If not, and you need to get around at least 4 feet is what the law says. What not to do? Okay? Do not slow down as you pass. Do not stop quickly or turn sharply to the right once you've passed it. Okay, we're going to watch a video in a little bit. You see this happen. It's very scary. Okay. Do not startle a bicyclist with loud noises, which include blaring the horn. Now the law says when you do a legal pass on the road with another vehicle, you should beep the horn first. Okay, but don't blare it. Don't scare them. All right. Here's some bicyclist laws. They have the right to the full use of the traffic lane. Okay? Bicycles are just like a vehicle, a car on the road. They have the right to the full lane of traffic. And they are not required to ride to the far right of the lane. Okay? It's safe practice, and bicycle groups encourage it, but they do not have to. Okay? Bicyclists are considered vehicles, and bicyclists are drivers of vehicles. So the laws apply where they can. All right? Bicycle operators have the same rights of the road as other drivers. Bicycle operators travel in the same direction as other traffic, not against. Yeah, that's just when you're walking, pedestrians. helmet and must be seated on a seat, okay? It says a saddle seat, that's just a regular seat. Passenger weighing less than 40 pounds or less than 40 inches and height must be seated in a bicycle restrained seat, okay? Who saw the little restrained seats? I saw where they have kids behind them and they're in a seat. It's an improved restrained seat. The most common bicycle motorist collisions. Accidents are often the result of a motorist underestimating the cyclist's speed, okay? Anywhere from, I saw 10 miles per hour, they can be going 35 miles per hour, depending on cyclists, okay? And they underestimate how fast they're going. Sometimes they overestimate and think they're going too fast, but most times it's underestimated. A motorist's left turn, that is another example, okay? A motorist is turning left, and they don't see the oncoming bicycles. And there's another left turn, okay? This is 2 lanes of traffic, or actually one with a bicycle lane. And he's fixing, and this is obstructing his view. So when this car appears, he's going, and he's not seeing the bicycle coming. Look twice for oncoming traffic before turning. Look for bicycles obstructed by other oncoming vehicles. Be aware that bicycles may be traveling faster than you expect. Motorist drive outs. This happens at coming out of your driveway as well. Make sure you stop and look both ways. Okay? Doing a full stop at stop signs, red lights, crosswalks, or exit your driveway. That's required by law. Look both ways before proceeding. And then the right hook. Okay, that's another one. Not knowing what's beside them, there's a bicycle lane over there, or maybe they're passing the bicycle, and they just turn right in front of them. Signal well in advance. Don't try to pass the bicyclist just before you turn. Be patient. And make sure you're well beyond the bicycles before you re-enter the lane. Okay, when you pass. Overtaking the bicycle, okay? Impeding traffic. What is impeding traffic? What does that mean? To impede something. That means to slow it down or stop it. You're keeping it from moving. All right. I got an impeding the flow of traffic in town when I was about 20 years old. Back when I was young, we used to cruise town in Lincoln around the Court Square, and that's what we did for fun. All teenagers and young adults, we would just cruise down and pass and talk. Well, I stopped and was talking to a guy I knew. I was a girl. Anyway, we were talking and carrying on a conversation, and I looked up, and the traffic had gone to the next light and passed. And I said, oh no, so I started to take off, and the police officer stepped on the street and mushed me over, and he said, I'm giving you a ticket for impeding the flow of traffic through town. And I'm like, what is that? So he explained it to me. He said, you can't stop traffic to talk. And I'm like, okay. So you cannot get an impeding for a bicyclist, okay? No person shall operate on a vehicle on the highway at such a slow speed, all right? But that does not, for farm tractors, bicycles, that does not apply. Anything, there's a state piece of equipment, if it's not a motor vehicle that can go that speed. Bicycles are allowed on all roads with the exception of freeways. You can't drive your bicycle on an interstate freeway, okay? Or any road that is specifically states that you can, if the sun will go. Okay. All right. That's just a reminder, but it's not legal. It doesn't have a legal meaning. Just reminds motorists that you share the highway with the bicycles. In North Carolina, failure to yield the right of way to a bicyclist, pedestrian, motorcyclist, or motor scooter operator is 4 points on your license. Okay. 4 points. Pretty high. Failure to yield the right of way to another motor vehicle operator is 3 points. Okay, so it's even more for a bicyclist than it is for another motor vehicle. Alright, so what's your signs? Alright, left turn hand signal, universal. It's for both, okay? If you're on a bicycle or if you're driving your car, you stick your arm out, that means you're turning left. reversing for right turn. If you're driving your car, because they can't see your arm inside the car, this is left. On a bicycle, you just use your right arm. Okay? And then for slow or stop, just take your arm out to the side. All right? In a car, it's 90 degrees. All right? Remain alert, attentive, and focused at all times while driving. You never know when you're going to run up on a bicycle. I've done it. I was coming home from work one day, and I come around a sharp curve, and my phone beeped, and I looked just quick to see who it was, and I looked up, and there was a bicyclist in the right lane in that curve, and I swerved to keep from running the back of him. And if there would have been something coming the other way, I didn't even look for that. I just didn't want to hit that bicyclist. Okay? And it's a true story. And luckily, nothing was coming. I went around and it scared me to death. But you should never look at your phone. Turn it off. When you're in the car driving, doesn't matter who's texting. Pull over if you need to. Be aware that bicyclists are also users of the roadways. They have as much right as you do on the road. Know the meaning of hand signals. Good job. Keep in mind that bicycles are generally moving slower than most motor vehicles, 10 to 25 miles an hour. Okay? Maybe 35 for a professional. Keep in mind that any collision with the bicyclist is likely to result in serious bodily injury to the cyclist, and that's your responsibility to make the safest choices possible. Okay? You hit a bicycle with a car, they're probably going to get hurt. They're going to get injured. Okay? Question?
If you hit somebody and kill somebody on the road, do you just lose your license or no?
You can be charged with it's a class. I think you're charged with a felony. Let me check on that, and I'll get back with you tomorrow with the exact rules on that. Yes, you can be. It depends on the circumstances. If you're negligent, definitely. But I'm gonna check on that and let you know. All right. Good question. And the main thing is be patient. Okay, it's proven. Wait a couple of seconds doesn't change anything. Okay? It's not gonna make or break how you get there.
What are the rules of the road when you pull up behind them? After we aired an emotional story on a local cyclist who was paralyzed when a car hit her head on, we heard from plenty of you. There were a lot of questions about the actual rules of the road between drivers and cyclists. In this WRAL Investigates follow, we hope a better understanding of the law will help everyone share the road responsibly.
Is that 4 feet?
The images are eye-opening and alarming. Drivers failing to share the road with cyclists, putting riders and other drivers in danger.
In North Carolina, a bicycle when on the road is considered a vehicle.
That means cyclists have to follow the same rules as drivers when it comes to signaling, stopping, and yielding.
There are some exceptions if a bicyclist gets through a light and it doesn't trigger the light. There's things you can do.
Attorney and cyclist Ann Broniger says the sour relationship between cyclists and
drivers
goes
off the road.
People complain about bicyclists running lights and bicyclists running stop signs, but if you stand in your neighborhood corner and watch how many cars blow through a stop sign or come through a rolling stop, I think you'll see it a lot more from cars than you do from bicyclists.
Frustrations seem to mount when drivers encounter cycling groups, but again, the rules are simple here.
The law in the state is that bicyclists may use the full travel lane.
There's no state law limiting how many cyclists can ride side by side, but most riding groups encourage no more than 2 riders to be next to each other unless they're passing other cyclists.
So a lot of times, the tension results from drivers really having a lack of understanding about what they're supposed to do when they encounter large groups of bicyclists.
Broniger says a recent change in state law could improve the relationship on the road.
A driver is now allowed to pass a bicyclist or a group of bicyclists on a solid double yellow line, provided that there is a clear sight distance ahead.
When passing, drivers should be at least 4 feet away from a cyclist. The bottom line, sharing the road is the law.
It's a give and take. The driver should have a bit more patience, and bicyclists should understand that they should ride in groups that are manageable.
So that video is just so alarming. As a cyclist and driver, Broniger says there is an important thing to keep in mind. Even if you get behind a group of riders and you need to wait to pass, it's likely only costing you a few seconds on your trip. So keep calm, keep everyone safe.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's some incredible stuff. Have you ever saw that? have you been with your parents or somebody and they passed somebody, a cyclist? And you think, man, this is crazy, man? No? I've witnessed it. It's scary. Okay, Chloe, come up here and stand right here. No, stand right here. Okay. All right, Ava, I want you to stand beside of her 4 feet apart, 4 feet away. All right, good. All right, I made a measuring device, 4 feet, it's 3 foot yardstick and a foot. All right, you stick your mirror out. You got a side mirror on your car. No, you don't have a bicycle.
Oh, of course.
All right, you're still good. Good job. Yes, y'all are. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 5.5 feet apart. Good. All right, that's the distance you should be. Okay, when you're passing bicycles, or you need to be in the other lane completely. Okay. All right. Good job. Good job. Do y'all have any questions about what we're doing? Any questions? All right. Good job. Okay. I'm gonna give you an exit ticket to leave. All right. So before you leave, enter true or false, and then I'll take that out the door and take all of your stuff. And have a good day. If you have any questions, email me. And Leighton, I'll find out the answer to your question, and I'll let you know those answers tomorrow. Yes.
We didn't go over the DWI part.
Okay. So if bicyclists, all right, y'all stop for a second. She asked that question louder.
Can you get a DWI?
We didn't go over the DWI part. If bicyclists have to follow all the laws of they're considered a vehicle on state road, okay? So if they have to follow all the laws of a motorist, what do you think? True. Yeah. If you can get one driving a car, you can get one driving a bicycle. You're considered a vehicle on the road. Good question. Good question.